This is a rating video for Monogatari, the Neko branch of Monogatari, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. As always, not safe for work material in these videos. It gets pretty risque on like one of the parts, but or quite a bit. Yeah. So click in the link in the description below to go watch my reaction. Then come back here to see my full thoughts, and theories about these episodes and what's to come, maybe, in my eyes. Not really to gleam off of anything, but yeah. So click away now, or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay, so it was very, very, very super cool to see the origins of Cat, basically. That was one thing that we kind of glanced over, basically, in the main plot. Whenever they were dealing with all the other girls and everything, like Mummy and then Snail and Crab and all them. That was like when we kind of learned a little bit more about Cat, basically, and in a pretty cool way too. Like that was also the moment we knew that Shinobu was a shadow, basically, in his shadow. That was such a cool moment, like in the story when that happened. But anyway, so this is the origins of Cat, and how a supernatural being called the White Cat, White Dead Cat, or something like that, right? Lays in the middle of the road, to be picked up by whoever's kind enough to pick them up, bury them, say a little prayer, and then walk away, basically. And in the story, it bends the person who does that to the cat's will, and the cat has to, in a way, like give him a wish, and that kind of thing. But for Hinakawa, she had no empathy, no remorse, no nothing, right? It was she didn't feel sad for the cat at all. So it worked differently on her, to the point where the cat spirit wanted to make sure she was happy, like above all else, kind of thing, relieve the stress, kind of thing, of her life, kind of stuff. Yeah. So throughout the whole reaction, I kept jumping back between like, is this the prequel of the Cat story? Is this like kind of a midpoint in the Cat story, or like stuff like that, like kind of thing like that? But there was a lot of clues basically mixed throughout that I noticed, but then I kind of forgot about it for a second, and then kind of like, wait, no, they did do something like that. Basically, the sisters, both sisters of Araki, they never knew about Hanakawa, basically, because like that was a big thing on their branch. Basically, was she was involved in their story and everything. So having jumped back, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Who?" Kind of thing like that. Like talking like they never met her before. It's a big hint that like this is like before events took place, kind of thing. So, and the whole thing about a new student in class, kind of thing, so on and so forth. All this talk about like love and everything, and it's like, oh no, you don't love her, at least love her body. Stuff like that is like the clues are there, saying like this is a new character, basically, to the main character, basically. So the clues were there. I just overshadowed those thoughts with other clues and other kind of facts that we saw. Because at first I thought the White Cat was shown in the second time Cat appeared. I thought that was the second time Cat appeared, was when we saw the dead cat on the road. But I guess that was maybe a flashback or something to the first time Cat appeared, basically. So I don't know. I got a little bit mixed up on that. Um, but anyways, so um, now that cat has been neutralized, um, it has basically made it a new creature. How our balancer has said is that uh, the when the spirit was ripped out, sucked out, drained out, whatever, um, it basically sucked it so far deep within her body that it became a new being. Like her and the cat became one, basically a new creature, a new being. So that is pretty interesting, and that makes me want to go back and like watch that last bit of Kat talking to Araki in the rain uh, during the second time Kat appeared. Because there's a lot of bits there that I want to go back and watch again because um, there were bits that I can't remember, but then there was bits where like she claimed that Araragi was the reasoning behind her being so stressed out, not telling her true feelings, or him not explaining her true feelings to her, or um, being stressed that uh, her feelings aren't being um, met back, if that makes sense. Like she's giving all this kind of love towards Araki, but at the same time he doesn't feel the same way, so she feels stressed out, kind of thing. Um, so I think that was the main reason. But again, that was probably the reasoning for the second time Cat appeared, not the origins of Cat. This time around, it was because of the spirit and the whole dad beating and so on and so forth. So it makes sense that the second time around was because of Araragi. Um, but yeah, I still want to go back and watch that part because it was really cool, nonetheless. Like just by itself, it was really cool. Um, but there's a lot of things that I might have missed, or it's been a little while. It's been a couple weeks since that scene, so forgive me for not remembering every little detail. It has been maybe about 3 weeks, something like that. Maybe 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks of them, or 3 weeks of them. I can't remember. Anyways, it was a fun little branch, basically. Like I said, the origins of Cat, the origins of Hanakawa becoming a special um, being, basically, who that mixed spirit beast with human. So she's a hybrid. She's literally a new creature in itself, basically. So that is pretty interesting, and I do want to know more about that. I loved how his way of like finding her was to call her, saying like, "Hey, I need help. The vampire took me. I need help," or something like that. And she just like, and he was like walking all slow down the stairs and like through the building. Took her half an hour to get there. And just like busted through the door like all fast, like, and then just just like, you okay? Like that was super cool. Um, it I was like, it was the first time we actually seen her like in cat form, right? Like with the white hair and all that kind of stuff, but not really in cat form. She was in her own mind. She was there. She was just using the cat's body, essentially her body. She was using her body again, which is interesting. So we have a lot to learn about her and everything, about her traits and what she can and can't do, and so on and so forth. So I kind of wish we do get to see her again, but not as like a psychopath killer again. I mean, maybe we'll probably see her go psycho again. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. We saw a little bit more about the origins as well. Well, not the origins, but like a little bit of this of the in between that we didn't get to see with Shinobu and Araragi, with her not talking to him, kind of thing, giving him the sword to use, and then also the donuts as well, which which is really interesting. And then um, the kind of bad mouthing kind of bit where he's like, "You can talk," kind of like that, but like he thought it was like in his mind or something like that. Like that was pretty funny. Stuff like that of like her like not talking and then talking all of a sudden kind of thing, which is really cool. And as we know in the future, she's kind of always talking to him because she feels she understands that she's being childish in this state, like her little state. Basically, she's being childish because she's doing the silent treatment to Araragi, who wants to just make sure she's alive, kind of thing, and then not die, pretty much. So it's all good. So yeah, I think that's it. Um, if there is anything I missed, to talk about or whatever, feel free to comment down below about what I missed. Obviously, no spoilers, please. Try to keep it as spoiler free as you can. Only talk about the stuff that I've seen now today and past stuff that I've seen. I know we're watching it in a different order than most of you have probably seen it on the air date or whatever. So forgive me on that. That's just the way it is. And so far, I'm enjoying this order. We get little breaks every now and then to go in the past and like look at stuff, which is kind of cool. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and tune in next week for the first part of the second season. So you should see what that's all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for some more Monogatari. Take care, buddy.